to the meeting, I would kindly ask for just a couple of logistical requests, I guess. Please keep your self-muted throughout the conversations. Feel free to use the chat for any type of questions that you will be asking. Would really appreciate if you can also address the question to the specific participant, and ideally if you would like to leave your information to follow up upon in case your question will not be answered. So 2 rules: keep yourself on mute and address the questions very specifically. Thank you. Oh, I appreciate. Thank you for the slide. I can give it a nudge from the organizers that we can get started. Are we expecting more people to join, or we're good? Okay, I've got a green light to proceed. So good afternoon, good morning, and good evening to everybody who's joining us today. My name is Mark Witvitsky, and I'm the Vice President at Canada-Ukraine Chamber of Commerce. I will be your moderator for this session. I'm actually honored to welcome each of you today for the webinar called Ukrainian Public Procurement Tools, Gateway to Reconstruction Opportunities. It's been organized by our Chamber of Commerce, the Embassy of Canada to Ukraine, and in partnerships with BDO in Ukraine. And I would like to thank you for all of the participants and all of the organizers to making it happen. First and foremost, let me thank you all again for your interest in Ukraine and your commitment to learning how Canadian companies can participate in the country's recovery and future growth. Today's webinar comes at a pivotal time. In February 2025, the World Bank released its 4th annual Rapid Damage and Needs Assessment, estimating that the cost of rebuilding Ukraine post-war will exceed 500 billion USD. Just rebuilding the housing, transportation, and energy sectors alone is projected to cost over $200 billion. The scale of this effort, as you all probably know, will make the reconstruction of Ukraine the largest rebuilding project in Europe since the World War II. And the good news is that it's already started. There is some of the signs of the beginning of these activities. As an example, the government of Ukraine has set aside $7.4 billion for urgent reconstruction projects in 2025 across multiple different sectors. This represents an unprecedented opportunity for the Canadian businesses. Canada has the world-class companies with expertise in construction, infrastructure, energy, engineering, technology, forestry, agriculture, and many, many other services. All these areas are essential for Ukrainians' recovery, not just after the war, but actually starting right now. One of the key gateways to access these type of opportunities is the system called Prozoro, which is our public procurement platform. It's transparent, it's internationally recognized and acclaimed system that allows companies from around the globe to fairly compete for government contracts in Ukraine. Prozoro opens the door for Canadian companies to engage directly in Ukrainians' reconstruction, modernization, and growth. So today's session is designed to give you practical insights on how Prozoro works, how to navigate public procurement as a non-resident, and how to identify real opportunities. You'll also hear about the tools, financial instruments, and support services available to help you get started. With this, we have a very distinguished group of speakers with us today, and I encourage you to stay engaged and bring your questions to our Q&A sessions at the end. As mentioned previously, please use the chat function in this Teams messenger to provide your questions, ideally directed to the person who is presenting, and ideally leaving an opportunity for you to be followed up by that person in case we will run out of time for this session. So with this, without any further delay, let's begin the webinar. I would like to introduce Zenon Potichny, who is the president of Canada-Ukraine Chamber of Commerce, with his welcome and introductions of the CUCC. And it's my pleasure to invite Zenon Potichny, who has been tirelessly advocating for strengthening Canada-Ukraine business ties over decades and will introduce the important role that our chamber plays in supporting our companies. Zenon, over to you.
Thank you, Markian, for the kind words. I hope you hear me okay. Super.
All good.
Hello, everyone. Wherever you are joining us from today, Canada, Ukraine, or beyond, welcome to this very important webinar. My name is Zenon Potichny. I have the privilege of serving as president of Canada-Ukraine Chamber of Commerce for many years now, as Markian mentioned. It is my pleasure to open today's important webinar dedicated to Ukraine's Prozoro procurement platform, an essential tool for transparent and effective public procurement in Ukraine. For those who may be new to Canada-Ukraine Chamber of Commerce, let me briefly introduce who we are. The Canada-Ukraine Chamber of Commerce is a member-driven business association committed to promoting trade and investment opportunities between Canada and Ukraine. For over 32 years, CUCC has been a prominent voice for Canadian and Ukrainian businesses, proudly representing over 150 members across both countries. Through initiatives like the Canada-Ukraine Trade and Investment Support Project, or CUTIS as we know it, we delivered in partnership with the Conference Board of Canada to support the newly signed CAFTA. We helped drive real results. A 31% increase in Ukraine's export to Canada and over 286 million in Canadian investment attracted to Ukraine through more than 180 new investors. In the last 3 years, CUCC has proudly hosted the Rebuild Ukraine Business Conference in Toronto, and I'm sure many of you have participated in it already. Gathering over 400 participants annually from governments, businesses, and financial institutions to discuss reconstruction and investment. Each year, we feature 40+ expert speakers and present over 60 investment projects from Ukraine, companies in energy, agriculture, infrastructure, health sciences, and others, leading to new partnerships and collaborations. We're excited to announce that the Rebuild Ukraine Business Conference 2025 will take place on December 2nd, 2025, at the Omni King Edward Hotel in Toronto. We warmly invite all of you to join us for this flagship event. In June 2024, I had the honor of accompanying Minister Mary Eng on a business mission to Ukraine in support of the modernized CAFTA. We traveled alongside representatives from Cameco, GDLS, BlackBerry, Aecon, and others, attended a meeting with Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Economy of Ukraine, Yulia Svyrydenko, held a roundtable with CEO Club of Ukraine, and celebrated Canada Day with our CUCC community and the Embassy of Canada in Ukraine. Earlier this year, during our Rebuild Ukraine Business Conference, we proudly launched the Rebuild Ukraine Toolkit for Canadian businesses. It's an online platform providing guidance in areas such as taxation, legal framework, risk management, financial tools, and step-by-step guide to Prozoro, as well as UCAN Pro platform, which I will present to you a little bit later during this webinar. This round Rebuild Ukraine Toolkit was made possible thanks to sponsorship by Export Development Canada and with BDO Ukraine as our content partner. Again, I would like to mention Export Development Canada again because they're very supportive and help us with many other initiatives. So thank you very much, EDC. Another important initiative we continue to support is the Rebuilt Ukraine exhibition in Warsaw, Poland. After successfully co-organizing Canada Pavilion together with Natural Resources Canada, embassies of Canada in Ukraine and in Poland, EDC, and 18 Canadian companies were once again working to support this year's upcoming conference. It will be another major opportunity for Canadian companies to showcase their expertise, participate in B2B meetings, and engage directly with reconstruction projects and partners from Ukraine and across Europe. We encourage Canadian businesses to take part. Once again, welcome. Thank you for being part of today's conversation and for your interest in strengthening the Canada-Ukraine business relationship. Thank you, and I will be back with UCAN Pro presentation soon.
Thank you very much, Zenon, for providing an overview of the Canada-Ukraine Chamber of Commerce. It's always enlightening to hear it again and again, all the work that we do, and I appreciate all the leadership and the support from you. With this being said, next in our lineup, we are pleased to welcome Mr. Peter Cahill, who is the Counsel and a Senior Trade Commissioner at the Embassy of Canada to Ukraine. Peter and his team are at the front line of helping Canadian companies understand the Ukrainian market and succeed in it. It was my pleasure, actually, Peter, to see you a couple of weeks ago in Kiev as well, and confirming those statements and your desire to support Ukrainian and everything that we do on the bilateral trade. Today, Peter will introduce the Trade Commissioner services and explain how they can be a key partner for you. Peter, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Markin. Coming through clear now?
Yes, perfect.
Excellent. So I've already been introduced, but essentially I and my team who work in the embassy to Ukraine in Kyiv, our primary goal is that of the Trade Commissioner Service worldwide, which is to help Canadian companies increase their exports. So it's to markets around the world. And what that means is we're part of a much larger network. The Trade Commissioner Service offers a number of different services for Canadian businesses. These are things like finding contacts in a market. It could be government officials if you need to understand the regulatory framework. It could be potential customers, distributors. Other services include helping companies to assess the nature of a market to see whether it is the right fit for the capabilities that they have in terms of their products and services. Sometimes we do things like problem solving, so it could be market access issues. So those are the kinds of services. I don't want to get too much into that, other than to say that all of the Canadian companies on this call are welcome to reach out to us after. We're happy to meet one-on-one and to deal with more specific questions. Some of those things are better addressed one-on-one because we recognize that we will frequently have companies share with us competitive information that we then do not share with other companies or potential competitors. So if you have further questions about Ukraine as a market, we would encourage you to reach out to us after the call, and then that way we can use this call to focus on the more technical matter related to procurement. So with that, I will turn it back over to you, Markin. Thank you very much, and thank you so much to everyone for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you so much, Peter, for the overview, and as always, being very clear and direct of the support services. Again, support from you is very much appreciated, so thank you. Now, again, keeping the pace, we're going to proceed forward, and I'm honored to welcome Mr. Mykola Tkachenko, who's a Director General of Prozoro system that I mentioned before. Mykola will give us the first-hand overview of the Prozoro system, the engine that drives Ukrainian transparent and competitive public procurement process. Mykola, we're looking forward to your insights.
Thanks, Markin. Thanks, colleagues. Hello, everybody. Thanks for standing with Ukraine. On this time, I will provide the spoiler. I will send the presentation, the link to my presentation, and I'll try to share it if I have sufficient rights. If not, Olga, maybe someone can. Looks like I don't have permission to share anything, any content now. maybe
Look,
Oliver can
give a
just...
couple of seconds and the office will
Okay.
share it on your behalf. Thank you for sharing this. In the meantime, you can maybe quickly introduce yourself while we're doing this. Thank you.
So since early 2023, I became CEO of Prozora. Prozora is the state system which recognized that the only one system through which state organizations and all the public procurement should be carried out, except the military procurement. But there are rumors who wants to add also military procurements as well there. It's fully based on the open source code. So that's why we believe that we are the most transparent system in the world, not only from the procurement perspective, but like fully transparent and fully open source. Also, we have our BI module, which shows all the historical data related to the procurements, and if you approach this BI module, it's also free of charge. It's also available for everyone. You can drill down from the very helicopter view on the procurements of Ukraine to the specific procurement. Oh, yes, great.
The slides are on, Mykola, so go ahead.
Okay, let's go then to the next one. Yes, so the system was designed as a balance keeper, as a golden triangle between state, society, and business. So we are trying to keep the balance between the transparency for society, between the opportunities to business, and cover all the needs which states provides and try to accomplish through the state procurements. Yes, during the 8 years of operating, we helped to save around 9 billion euro for our country. We have a huge number of suppliers. It's about 170,000 suppliers, and the Prozora word means transparency, literal translation from the English to from the Ukrainian to English. Let's go. Yes. So as I said, we have open source. So if you have sufficient knowledge in technology, you can just go to our GitHub and check how the system built. We have open APIs. So if you need any data from the system directly, you can connect to our API and take it for the future analysis. All the submissions comes via electronic bidding. So we don't use any envelopes. We don't use even email for submitting the proposals. As I said, we have powerful BI module and two-level hybrid ecosystem, which helps us to deal with the customer support and with the state regulation. So Prozora, as a company, we are dealing with all the government and rules of procurement, and for the customer layer, we use our public our marketplaces for commercial, and we have 13 partners, and you can choose any of these 13 to register and do the procurements and submit the proposals. Let's go to this slide. So we was founded in 2014, but since 2016, the system shifted from prototype to the pure and mass use for any state company for making procurements. Two-level system, central database and marketplaces. Marketplaces serve as a customer layer, central database serves as the rules and rules engine, procurement rules engine. As you see, also we have anti-monopoly committee and state audit service. They also works as control bodies. They have their own cabinets in the system, so you don't have to switch out from the system to have all the information related to the procurements. If any remedy mechanism should be applied for the procurement, it will be done in our system, and you will see all the relevant information regarding this. So it's like one-stop shop for any procurements and any information which you would like to know about the state procurement in Ukraine. Only 60 people who serve as the Atlants, they're holding all the system on their shoulders. So I'm very proud to be one of these ladies and guys. Let's go to our values. Yes, it's openness, teamwork. We are ready for development. We are trying to be as more efficient as we can and take all the responsibility for this. I hope that as any company entire the world. So about 70% were spent competitively during 2024. We have 2.4 average number of bids. It's almost 20% more than we had in 2023. So even during the war, the system showed the very exciting result, for my understanding. For the martial law, for the period of martial law, we have only 3 bidding procedures. It's open bidding, it's simplified procurement, and electronic catalog. Electronic catalog is look more like market, so it's like Amazon, but Amazon for state. Also, we have 2 frameworks. It's dynamic purchasing system and closed framework. For dynamic purchasing system, it's our new mechanism. Now we are piloting it for the military procurement. The qualification of the potential suppliers is open. For the closed framework agreement, the period of qualification is limited for the certain period of time, and then buying entity just continue working with those suppliers who was qualified during this short period. Very low tariff. Our threshold is 93.8 euro, which is roughly $100 US dollars and less. So the participant cost, even for the millions US dollars procurements, it's pretty low to take part on it. Since the recent time, since 2023, we launched donor procurements. This is new model which came beyond the state procurement law, and now we are happy that we can address not only the public procurement but also the more like commercial, and in the future we are going to engage also the not only the public, not only the state entities, but also the business customers who will try to reach and who is willing to reach our huge suppliers database. So if you will join us, maybe in a couple of years, the market will be even wider for you than we have now. Not only been limited by the state organization. Prozora market, as I said, it's like our Amazon for the state. Once you as a supplier qualified for the certain goods, then only 3 days may take for the bidding and until the buying entity start their procurement to the contract sign, and then after this 3 to 9 days, you will be recognized as a supplier, and then you will be able to issue your goods to the buying entity if you win for the price and technical specification. Public BI module is administered by Transparency International Ukraine, so it's fully transparent, fully trustable source. This platform connected to our database and shows all the data related to the state procurements from the different points of views. If you want to have a quick look or deep dive into the specific areas, please very welcome. It's guide.prozora.gov.ua, and you will be in charge of all the procurement data in Ukraine. Let's go, please. Yeah, compliant, as I said, state audit service and anti-monopoly committee works in our system. So you have ability to submit a claim, and this claim, this is subject of payment. But if the claim was recognized as sufficient, so if you want this, let's say, competition, then you will be paid back for all the amount. So we provide all the opportunities for the suppliers to compel and to make procurements as more transparent as possible and make the competition fair and bring the equal possibilities. Let's go there. Yes, automated risk indicator state audit service now works with this tool. It's also quite new, 1 year from the development, and it's also available for in internet. So you as a supplier can check whether the procedure which you are going to apply is under the risk from the law perspective, or if this customer, this buying entity previously was like recognized as with the risky procedure. So you can also double check it prior to the submission. And the state audit service now became more effective because they have this funnel with the most risky procedures, and they know where to look at and to start monitoring or not start monitoring. So we are trying to make our governance more effective. Prozora portal now in English version. Before it was only in Ukrainian, but still Google Translator and embedded tools from the web browsers work fine. So you can either take this or that opportunity. Let's go next, please. Yeah, contracting is something new also. So we already launched the contracting, where you just provide the specific data related to the terms of supply prices and some other data, and the rest is fulfilled by the system. So you don't need to take the big pool of lawyers and accountants and so on and so forth to check any specific contract from the buying entities. We are trying to make it universal, and so there will be no need to go and check each time, just once, and then you will be known. You will know that everything is according to this electronic contract template. And another one, next slide. Another one very sweet project, which we are now going to launch with the assessment of the tender documentation. So we are going to have the integrated index of the quality of preparation for the tender documentation. So if you see that the rating comes approach 100, then it's a good sign for you that this tender was created with in a good conditions. So there is nothing specific for which gives privilege to specific bidder, that everything according to the law, and there is no backdoors for in this procurement. So that's how it works. Let's go to the next slide, please. We try to assess for the 8 categories, and these 8 categories also split for almost 150 parameters. So it's very comprehensive analysis, and you will be able to see what exactly is not comply, or what is the most comply for this specific tender, and it will help you to take a decision to take part in this procurement or not. That was the last slide from my side. It was the quick overview. Yes, it's very simple process of the registration, so it's easier than to register on Facebook now. And you are welcome to take part in Ukrainian procurements and help us to be more efficient than it's even now. Yes. Thanks a lot, Matthew.
Thank you very much, Mykola. Great presentation, great insights, and as I think we all can see right now, a very sophisticated, thought through, systematic system, I guess, playing with the words here, but systematic approach to how the procurement needs to be done. A great pleasure to have you on, Mykola. Thank you again. Thank you for sharing the slides. The next part of the conversation is actually how can we regionalize this and make sure that Canadian companies are well equipped to be able to navigate through the Prozoro system. And with this, as mentioned before, I would like to welcome back Zenon Potichny, and who will be introducing the UCAN Pro, which is the product that has been developed and designed by the CUCC and the Embassy of Canada in Ukraine. Which was the main goal, to help Canadian companies navigate through the Prozoro. So proper translation, executive summaries, and other things that Zenon will be mentioning. This tool, again, is an extension of the Prozoro system, and it gives access to Ukraine's public procurement opportunities with more efficiency. So with this, Zenon, please go ahead.
Thank you, Markian. Thank you, Mykola. That was quite extensive presentation. Thank you for all of that. So again, it's my pleasure to introduce you to UCAN Pro, which is an online platform that unlocks opportunities in Ukraine's public procurement market, and especially, as Markian mentioned, for Canadian companies. The main reason we sort of got involved with that because, as you all know, there are a lot of major Canadian companies in different areas of business, and they do many contracts all around the world. And we have noticed that even though there were billions and billions of dollars of awarded contracts in Ukraine, unfortunately, the participation of Canadian companies was not that extensive. So we figured, and we started talking with Embassy as they were thinking about this idea before. We figured we'll work on something like we're just presenting now, this UCAN Pro. It has been launched in February of 2024. UCAN Pro is a collaborative initiative by Canada-Ukraine Chamber of Commerce and Trade Commissioner Service at the Embassy of Canada in Ukraine, and proudly developed with funding support from Global Affairs Canada. So thank you to Canadian government for supporting that. Our mission is simple, but I think powerful, to connect Canadian companies with real, tangible business opportunities through Ukrainian's Prozoro public procurement portal. At the same time, UCAN-Pro supports the pillars of trade, transparency, and reconstruction in Ukraine. Now let me show you how UCAN-Pro works. First, UCAN-Pro scans available tenders on the Prozoro platform and highlights opportunities valued at 50,000 Canadian or more, ensuring the opportunities you see are relevant and significant. Second, we offer bilingual access, translating opportunities into English and French, breaking down language barriers so Canadian businesses can easily navigate and participate. And as you heard from Mikola, there's English version, but as I remember, in the last few years, there was actually very, very heavy on Ukrainian language. Third, UCAN-Pro converts the estimated project cost directly into Canadian dollars. So no more guessing or manual conversions. You see the numbers you're familiar with immediately. And most importantly, we're here to help. Personalized bidding support is available through the Canada-Ukraine Chamber of Commerce and the Trade Commissioner Service at the Embassy of Canada in Ukraine. Whether you have questions or need hands-on assistance, we're just a call or an email away. Getting started with UCAN-Pro is easy. Step one, simply register at www.ucanpro.ca. Step number two, choose your sector of interest on the main page or on opportunities page through the scroll down sector section. Click apply filters and you will see all the available opportunities. Step number three, select an opportunity that has an open bidding. For example, like this one here from Kyiv Vodokanal. Step number four, review the project overview. Check the criteria for the winner selection, deadlines for proposal submission, and read through the attached documents carefully. Step number five, when ready, click on Submit Proposal. This will take you directly to the Prozoro platform through which you will submit your proposal. And remember, you can always click on Request Support, which will connect you to either CUCC or Trade Commissioner Service representatives for further support and assistance. In closing, UCAN-Pro is more than just a portal. It's a bridge between Canadian innovation and Ukrainian resilience, a bridge between opportunity and growth, and we're here to support you every step of the way. Let's unlock new opportunities in Ukraine together, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Zenon, for providing the overview of the system. A quick just time check. We are currently at almost the middle of our speakers and presentations. Just want to give a quick overview for those who are listening online. The next two presentations will be specifically about Prozoro, going through the details of the system, giving you insights and navigating them, and actually seeing some of the real opportunities. So I really encourage everybody to stay for a bit longer until you can, because that's getting even more exciting as we move forward. And then we're going to wrap up with a representative from the EDC, which I'm sure will provide even more insights on some of the solutions and some of the solutions that exist around the risk management and war insurance and any other products that we are very happy to present today. So with this, the next representative, and I thank you, Zenon, for providing that. But the next representative, the next speaker is Ms. Oksana Lazareva, who is a public procurement manager at the BDO Ukraine, which we thank again for being the partner in this juncture. Oksana is a leading expert on public tenders for international companies. And today, she will share the essential insights and the practical tips for non-resident bidders navigating the Prozoro. I'm sure it's going to be super exciting. So, Oksana, the floor is yours.
Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Mark, for introducing me. I represent international audit and consulting company BDO in Ukraine and work in public procurement department. And today I would like to share with you some key aspects with some useful tips, practical cases while public procurement process. I will, as head of ProZorro, Mykola Tkachenko has already informed you some information about ProZorro. I will miss some slides. I can only add that over 1,000 purchases are published every day through ProZorro platform, and as ProZorro has principle everyone sees everything, you participants can find any information you need from organizers, announced tenders, bidding results, amounts of concluded contracts. So any information I think you need. And also, you can find any category you are interested in, because there are lots of them. You see on this screen that from medicine, furniture, till real estate, and many others categories can be found in this ProZorro platform. As regarding the accredited electronic platforms, also Mykola has already told, I would like only to provide you a piece of advice here, how to choose an electronic platform. They are nearly equal because they have got their single database. This means that they have got their identical information, but our tip will be to choose the platform with English language interface, because not all of them have English language interface, and I suppose that it would be very easy for you using English one. Registration, a few words, it's very easy. When you choose the platform you like, you will fill in their main information about your company, download maybe statutory documents of your company. Then a manager of this platform will contact you to sign the bilingual agreement. And after that, you will need to pay an invoice. In future,
I apologize for interrupting, Oksana, but there is some concerns with presenting the slides I can see in the meeting chat. If there is a way for the administrators just to confirm if the slides are coming through okay. I can see them okay, but I see some people are complaining they have issues with display. So just maybe a little pause for like 10 seconds until we will just maybe re-sharing would help. I'm assuming some people dropped off and re-entered, so just give me 2 more seconds. I'll get the update from the admin folks and we'll proceed. Sorry to interrupt, Oksana. Okay, can we move on? Everything's okay on everybody's end? Can you see it?
Great, thank you.
And Andrea, if you can confirm you can see it, because I see you mentioned this in the chat.
Okay, thank you. You will pay for invoice. In future, you will be able to use this amount, which will be on your account for payment for the future tenders you are interested in. You will be participating. A few words, a few tips how to find their desired purchase. Sure, you can use their search bar, search line, but our tip, our piece of advice will be that browser platforms give the opportunity to set up a newsletter subscription to automatically receive notifications about new tenders that meet your criteria. You may select, for example, a desired category or even specify keywords of the desired category. Moreover, you can determine the budget of the announced procurement, for example, from 1 million Ukrainian hryvnias or more. It's very convenient for me because you don't need to search every day new announced tenders, and the system after they setting up will automatically send you notifications to your email about new tenders that meet your specified criteria. Main types of procurements. Also, Mykola Tkachenko has already informed you. I will just add that the main types of public procurements are open bidding with special features and simplified procurements. On this slide, you see the differences between them. For example, if their procurement budget, for example, for goods and services will be up to 100,000, then it will be simplified. If more, it will be open bidding. Also, on this scheme, you see the steps, the stages of open bidding with special features. Every stage has its deadlines. You see the days for each deadline. I can add that simplified procurements, they last less days, they have got less requirements, and they have got less documents for preparation for provided by the participants. So these are main differences. And preparation for the tender itself, few tips that we can recommend you. The first one regarding tender documentation, we advise you study all requirements carefully to understand that you meet all the criteria of tender documentation. As for foundation documents of your company, be aware that non-residents of Ukraine must provide those documents that are required by the legislation of the country in which this participant is registered, analogs of the documents. As for time limits, you saw on the previous slide that the whole from the announcement of the procurement to the submission of the proposal, this period lasts for 7 calendar days. The next one, bank guarantee, a few words. I must say that not in all procurement, but sometimes the customer may require this bank guarantee, in other words, tender security, to be confident in the bidder's interest and obligations as the supplier. And the amount of this tender guarantee you see on the screen. But this amount of this bank guarantee is charged by the customer only if you haven't fulfilled the obligations of the participants. For example, if you win and don't sign the procurement contract, etc. So pay attention to this requirement during learning tender documentation if it's present. It's necessary to pay attention to this point. When the next one, if you when you have read all the tender documentation, you understood that you met the requirements, you took your decision to take part. Be informed that all participants taking part in the tender should pay their fee for this participation. This fee is mandatory and it's fixed fee. You see on the table on the right, for example, if we see at the bottom, if the procurement budget will be from 1 million to 4 million Ukrainian currency, then you should pay approximately 2,000 Ukrainian hryvnia, which is in your currency in Canadian dollars will be 69 approximately. Also, I can add that if you have some amount on your account, it's okay. But if you haven't got any amount, pay attention to the time limit for this payment, because you will pay from the foreign bank and it may take you up 5 business days. And one more important condition to my mind here, that pay attention also to this fact that payment must be made from the bank account of that legal entity which has been registered on the electronic platform and participates in the procurement. The next step, preparation the documents. Here, let me notice that all documents must be submitted in Ukrainian, and sure, you will have some package of documents in foreign language, in English or in French, and these documents must be translated into English, into Ukrainian, and certified in accordance with the requirements of the tender documentation, certified by the participant or notarized or apostilled. So it also takes some time. Pay attention to this fact. Regarding electronic signature, all proposals, all documents while submitting must be signed by qualified electronic signature. But as non-residents, as you don't have it, foreign companies are not obliged to sign your proposals with the electronic signature. But our advice here will be to study customer tender documentation carefully, and if you have any doubts, any questions regarding this point, please write to the customer during the clarification period. And the next slide is about this clarification period. Every participant has the right to ask questions if this participant has any, and it can be done through the Prozoro electronic platform. Questions can be asked no later than 3 days before the deadline for submitting tender proposals. That's why we advise you to do it in advance. because after that period, the Prozoro platforms, the system will automatically block such an opportunity. So if you have any doubts, any questions, use your chance to do it and ask the customer via the Prozoro platform. And important notice here that these appeals are free of charge. Next slide about the win price. Our tips, our pieces of advice, how to calculate a win price, because price is one of the most important factors to my mind in public procurement. To win, you need not only offer a low price, but also calculate it strategically. Based on our experience, based on our practice, I would highly recommend you to analyze the previous procurements on a similar subject, because this information will give you a lot. While analyzing, please pay attention to the number of participants in previous tender. This will show you the level of competition in the market. Besides, also pay attention to the starting prices of the participants in relation to the maximum price initially announced by the customer. Also, pay attention to the dynamics of price reduction during the auction. This will help you to evaluate how actively competitors are reducing. And I can see, based on our experience, that all of these will help you to predict the competitors' behavior. This will give you an understanding of which competitors may participate, because usually the participants are the same. And you will understand while logically thinking the approximate price they can offer. Also, we advise you to determine in advance the minimum price you cannot go down during the auction, because the auction will pass quickly, and you will have limit time for this decision. An auction lasts 3 rounds for 2 minutes each. And be aware that the system automatically schedules this auction. Usually it's on the next business day. But you will see all this schedule, these deadlines in your platform. The deadline for each step, for each stage of procurement process. Priority in this auction, the participant with the highest initial bid changes the price first, and the participant with the lowest initial bid has the priority, because he will be able to change, to reduce his price last. What is more, we would like to draw your attention here that auctions are held during business hours Ukrainian time, and sure, we have some differences in time zone between Canada and Ukraine. That's why also pay please to attention to this fact, not to miss this auction. By next slide, a few words that there is a nice opportunity, to my mind, on Prozoro platforms to correct your mistakes. A participant who has got the lowest price after the auction, this participant, his documentation will be checked by the customer. And if you haven't got any mistakes in your proposal in your documentation, it's okay. But if you have got some, there is nice opportunity to correct them, but you have got limited time because the participant is given 24 hours to correct them. That's why you should see your platform, see your emails when you receive the notification that the customer gave you 24 hours for correcting. Don't miss this period. What can be corrected? Minor errors, absence of some information, absence of the document, but we pay your attention that, for example, bank guarantee, if it was required by the customer, it cannot be corrected. Also, absence of information concerning the technical characteristic of the procurement subject. Everything relating to a technical part, terms of reference, it's without any right to be corrected. That's why we advise you to check it carefully while preparing your tender proposal. And when you are nearly a winner, there is also the you are nearly a winner, you have got the lowest price. There is also a compulsory step after the auction, after your victory. This step is provision of winner's documents. You will have 4 calendar days to provide this package. You will read about it in the customer standard documentation. Usually it consists of some references, for example, certificates of no criminal record or no corruption of your company's head. You may have these documents in a foreign language, and they should be translated into Ukrainian. That's why we recommend you to do it in advance, after when the auction is over and you have the lowest price. If, for example, such kinds of documents aren't available in the country of your company registration, in this case, an analog and reference of explanation should be provided within these 4 calendar days. These were the main steps. I have got lots of information, but I need to be short because of limit of time. But you will receive this presentation and will be able to read in more detail. The next slides concern defense procurement, because I know that some of you are interested in these kinds of procurement, and some of you have had questions. So a few words about defense procurement. These procurements are announced by Defense Procurement Agency, by authorized military units and other units of the armed forces. Defense procurement has 4 types. The first 2 types are the same as I have already told you. That's why I will not tell you once more. And the third Prozora market. A few words about it. It's a marketplace for purchasing only goods. For example, food, medical equipment, medicine, and these goods are available in the electronic catalog. Be aware that these procurements without any competitive procedures. Qualification of suppliers in this Prozora market is free of charge. The supplier pays only the commission for the concluding contract. The tariffs you see on this screen. And the last one is framework agreement. Also, Mykola Tkachenko has already told some words about this framework agreement. Here, fuel, food, military uniforms, drones can be purchased, and this framework agreement has two stages. The first one is qualification of the candidates, selection of supplies for this framework agreement. Documents of the participants are confidential information. And the second stage of framework agreement is procurement itself among the suppliers which were included in the framework agreement during the first stage. Here also the information about the winner is confidential one. Also be aware that except besides four main public procurement types of procurements via the ProZorro system, we have got some closed procurements which are not public, they are confidential, and they are carried out by the concluding a direct agreement without using any electronic procurement system. For example, defense goods, works, services constituting a state secret. On the next slide, there are some additional tips regarding public procurement process. They are general. Because of limit of time, I will not tell you all of them. You will read them after when you receive this presentation file. Some words why bidding in Ukraine. Because ProZorro system ensures transparency and equal rights for the participants, and besides, the law of Ukraine or public procurement guarantees equal rights both for residents and non-residents. And also, we see that statistics show that foreign companies actively take part in ProZorro procurement and sign the contracts, as you see on the screen. For 2 years, Naftogaz Group has signed agreements, 10% of which were with non-residents. And for 4 years, 7 Canadian companies concluding contracts through ProZorro for 60 million Canadian dollars. Such their statistic. Let me inform you about our practical, practical case. Our support to one Canadian company. Recently, we helped a Canadian company. This company took part in the procurement via ProZorro for the first time, and sure, it was it was very important to pay attention to the key tips from our side. So we paid their attention to, for example, for a technical part of proposal, because as you remember, I've told you today that it's without any right to be corrected. That's why it's important one. Also, we paid this Canadian company attention for winners documents, because I must say that Canadian company was very surprised that after they were nearly a winner and they have provided all the documents, there was the next step, which is provision of winner's document. And so it was very unexpectedly for them, for this company, and we paid their attention because their time limits was only 4 calendar days. And Canadian company has won this procurement. It's very pleasant because it's always pleasant to get positive results. So let me inform you that our BDO in Ukraine team propose its assistance, its help during their participating and taking part in procurement via Prozora system. I suppose it will be useful for beginners. Our team can assist either during all the steps of this procurement process or with some of them, for example, bank guarantees, and for example, analyzing of main requirements, and if the participant meet these requirements, and preparation of the documents. On the last page of this presentation, you will find our contact details. That's why don't hesitate to contact us. We will be glad to assist you, to help, to answer your questions. Moreover, let me add that our BDO in Ukraine team has issued their procurement guide. It's available on our official website. You will click on the reference, or for example, to QR code, and you will get you will be on our official website and will be able to read this procurement guide. It includes main tips, some pieces of advices for all stages, for all steps of public procurement. I think it will be interesting for both for beginners and experienced participants. And moreover, it's available in English. So you are welcome. Go to our website and you will be able to read this guide with some pieces of advice. I hope that our information was useful for you, was interesting for you. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us. And from my part, I would like to wish you not to be afraid to take part in our Ukrainian public procurements. I wish you to take part, to win a lot. Thank you for your attention.
Oksana, thank you so much for a very in-depth, detailed presentation. Great to hear the wealth of knowledge that BDO and you specifically bring to the table. It's also, I think, very important to acknowledge that the pioneers, as you mentioned, 7 companies, 60 million in procurements, have done the heavy lifting. So that means that I think there is a path forward for other companies to follow through. I would really encourage people to try and test. And I've heard very positive feedback about their partnership and the success story you just mentioned between the PDO and one of the Canadian companies, and your pro bono support, if you will, if I can mention that as well, just to learn. So that tells you a lot. Thank you, BDO, for your help and for your continuous support with these activities. Now, just a reminder for everybody else on the call, we still have 2 participants, very exciting ones. The next one is Alexandra Misec, and we will welcome Alexandra from SDM Partners, where Alexandra will actually provide a very detailed look at the real opportunities, because I think everybody's itching to see, so what's there currently? What are the opportunities available for me? So we will provide that input from you on the Prozoro platform, and hope your company can identify some of the interesting matches for now, and it would be interesting to pursue. And after Oksana, as I mentioned, we're going to hear from Matthew from EDC about how can you de-risk and secure your investment. So please stay tuned. And Oksana, over to you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alexandra Misets. I represent SDM Partners. We prepare all the documents from assisting you register with the Prozoro system, with the platforms, up to signing the contracts. We specialize in helping foreign companies participate in public and commercial tenders in Ukraine and across Europe. Today, we will focus on the energy and construction sectors, but every day we also deal with many tenders in medicine, IT, logistics, infrastructure, food industry, and many, many more. Before we start, I would like to share some thoughts with you. We recently attended Lublin Triangle Forum and also, as mentioned, Mr. Zenon, Rebuild Ukraine, Poland. We are located in Poland, so I would like to mention it, where Ukrainian authorities already expressly and clearly expressed their active search for suppliers, for international, Canadian, European suppliers who can supply from drones, helicopters, medical equipment, infrastructure, engineering services, and many, many others. So there is a real unmet demand in many sectors. In some cases, for example, our Polish clients, which recently participated and we won many million tenders, they were conducted sometimes without competitors. It's very strange for us. In some cases, we had to repeat many tenders because no suppliers just applied. So I also would like you do not afraid to participate in Ukrainian tenders. So we strongly encourage you to participate. After this session, please also feel free to contact us and send your email, maybe with a brief, short description of your goods and services. And we can provide you for free for pro bono tender search, tailored to your business. In this way, you will be able to explore real opportunities and see where and how you can supply to Ukraine. So, all right, let's get started. So today we'll discuss key aspects of participating in energy sector, road, bridge construction, and we'll see some practical cases. Let's look at the gas market first. Total consumption in 2023 was around 26 billion cubic meters. Of this, 9 were consumed by households and utilities, 10 by industry, 5 by district heating companies, and so on. So, and there were two main trends. Total consumption has almost halved since 2013. The reasons include war, industrial decline, and improved energy efficiency. On this slide, you can see the main gas supply in Ukraine. Domestic production is around 18-19 billion cubic meters annually. The main supplier is Ukrgazvydobывание, which is part of Naftogaz. Other players like Ukernafta and independent producers supply about 5-6 BCM annually. Here we see Ukraine's need for imports in gas. It's about 5-6 billion cubic meters per year. This is where companies from Canada can step in to meet this demand. Currently, Ukraine consumes gas thanks to reverse flows from Slovakia, Hungary, Poland, and it's important to note that we have no direct imports from Russia since the war started. On the next slide, let's see who is the main player on the market. As mentioned, it's Naftogaz. So we have Naftogaz of Ukraine, which is the gas supplier. It supplies gas to population under so-called public service obligations, to the municipal sector, and sometimes to industry. Yes, Naftogaz received subsidies. The government provides subsidies or preferential pricing through a PSO mechanism for population, for heating companies, and so on. Therefore, Naftogaz has a special status, receives subsidies, and has access to state-owned infrastructure. And what about industrial sector? Let's see this slide. Where is real competition possible? Industrial enterprises purchase gas at market prices outside the PSO mechanism, which I mentioned before. This is where Canadian companies can compete successfully, especially if they supply large volumes, manage flexible logistics, and offer tailored terms and financial instruments. So this is the sector where you can truly compete. How to start supplying? So you can supply gas to border entry points, so-called gas transmission system. You can work with B2B sector, industrial enterprises through ProZorro or through commercial tenders. It's very important to note. So you have two opportunities, not only ProZorro, but also commercial tenders. Or you can partner with Ukrainian tenders or distributors. So on the next slide, I will show you where Canadian companies can find information sources to participate in tenders. Of course, this is ProZorro as main source. Secondly, tenders from large enterprises in Ukraine that purchase gas are conducted also through their corporate websites. These companies operate in B2B sector, and they have they may provide tender opportunities on their own website, like Metinvest, ArcelorMittal, Nibelon, and so on. So on this slide, you can see the links to some of the corporate tender portals which you may use. And how it looks like, short checklist, how a foreign company, how a company from Canada can supply gas to Ukraine. So we have 4 steps here. Stage 1, you have to secure your gas supply from European hub or from other international hub. You have to plan your logistics and choose appropriate entry points into Ukraine. Ukraine gas transmission system, it's very important, GTS. You can find a local partner, or you can register a representative office in Ukraine. Stage 2, you have to be registered. Get registered with the Ukrainian gas transmission system, obtain identification code, energy identification code, and sign interconnection agreement. It's very important on the last stage, when you would like to participate in tender, you have to be prepared. So first you have to be registered, you have to get EIC code, and most important, you have to sign interconnection agreement. As soon as you meet these requirements, you can go to stage 4. Stage 3, it's about the licenses. So if you have not registered yet, or you have not any other partner, you have to obtain necessary licenses, which is issued by National Energy and Utilities Regulatory Commission of Ukraine. You pay for that and you get the license. And the stage 4, most important, interesting part, you have to be registered on ProZorro, on marketplaces which are connected with ProZorro, which, as previously told Oksana and other people. So you should be registered. You have to get electronic signature and so on. And here you have to be advised by your legal counsel and prepare all the documents to technically and legally participate in the tender and submit your offer and your bid. Let's move to the oil market. What about oil market? Ukraine produces very little oil, just about 1 million tons a year, while consumption is over 10 times higher. As a result, the country is highly dependent on imports of crude oil, fuels, gasoline, diesel, and so on. So since the war started, most refineries have been shut down or destroyed. And the country, Ukraine, is very dependent on oil imports. Therefore, this is where Canadian business can benefit. On this slide, you can see the situation with oil refining. Yes, it's partially destroyed. Oil imports, we have mainly supplies coming from EU countries, from Poland, Romania, Slovakia, Lithuania, and other European countries. Let's take a look at the fuel market. Overall, the market is relatively stable, but it's under logistical pressure due to the war. In terms of retail leaders, we see here Oko, Vok, Shell, Avias, Sakar holding strong position across the country. Last year, we saw price spikes because of war. Which opportunities you have for Canadian companies? Canadian companies can supply fuel directly to Ukraine through Prozoro, or you can work with retail chains like Oko, Vok, Sakar, Shell, and others, which run their own tenders and buy fuel using commercial tenders. You can also partner or sell them directly. There is a growing demand for equipment, for technology, for small and medium refineries. For example, you can supply such technologies or equipment through Prozoro, which is also available. Ukraine is very interested in green energy, biofuel storage. So Canadian green energy solution can be a strong fit in this respect. Ukraine needs safe fuel storage. So Canada can offer solution and technologies to cover this demand. So what is typically procured through Prozoro? Of course, gasoline, diesel, liquefied gas, fuel gas, and so on, as well as equipment and technologies. It's very, very important. We have a lot of tenders in this area. Who are publishing the tenders in Ukraine? Of course, the government and municipal bodies, state-owned companies. We have many tenders announced by Ukrzaliznytsia, Naftogaz, Ukrposhta, worth million of hryvnias and euro, as well as private sector, B2B sector. They also announce a lot of tenders. What about market of electricity? Here, the situation is a little bit more complicated. Before, Ukraine used to consume up to 160 billion kilowatt hours per year. Today, the number has dropped to around 100 billion, mostly due to the war. Most of this electricity still comes from domestic sources. So we have our nuclear power, and nuclear power covers over half of the demand. Then come thermal generation, about 20-25%, hydropower, and up to 10% renewable energy. So does Ukraine import electricity? Yes, especially in winter when demand rises and the power system comes under missile attacks. In those moments, imports come from EU, and it becomes very, very essential for Ukraine. What's important to know? Electricity goes not always through Prozoro. They are handled through Ukrenergo's daily auctions using the JAO platform. The same system used by EU countries for cross-border capacity. So this is a sector that operates under both Ukrainian and European market rules. And it's a growing space for international cooperation in this respect. So you have to be registered with JAO and follow the auctions conducted by Ukrenergo. Let's talk about, very briefly, about construction market. As of the end of the last year, the total reconstruction needs are estimated at a massive $486 billion over the next 10 years. This includes everything, so roads, bridges, hospitals, energy, housing, and many, many others. So just for this year, the Ukrainian government, together with international donors, has already committed $7 billion to recovery projects, and that's just to start. We have also European Union launched €50 billion support package, a so-called Ukrainian facility. This is a major push to help rebuild and modernize the country. EBRD is stepping into with the plans to invest in Ukraine. So what does it mean? It means real good momentum, real funding, and real chances for companies like yours to participate in Ukrainian transformation through Prozoro. All public tenders in Ukraine are published and conducted through Prozoro system. As was mentioned before, it's very open, fully digital platform, transparent. Some projects which are financed by the European Union can also be found on European platform. It's TED Electronic Daily. Some projects funded by international development banks like BRD, EIB, World Bank, and so on, they can be listed on their official websites. So these are also all open tenders, accessible to foreign business, and you can benefit from these opportunities. So let's see, finally, the checklist, how Canadian company can participate in construction tenders. So first, you have to decide your legal firm. Would you like to participate directly via Prozoro as non-resident, or would you like to register your subsidiary in Ukraine or form consortium, subcontract with Ukrainian licensed company, or would you like to open representative office? Secondly, you have to look precisely at tender documentation and check if it's required licensing. For works involving new construction, reconstruction, or major repairs, it's obligatory to have license SS2, SS3, so-called, for objects, for roads, for bridges. Normally, it's required in a tender documentation. What else? You have to prepare your tender documentation carefully. All documents submitted via Prozoro should be made electronically. It should be translated, as mentioned, as well. You have to submit all company certificates, licenses, financial reports. So we have to follow the requirements of the tender documentation. In most cases, almost in all cases, you have to show your experience. You must demonstrate relevant project experience from home country or abroad. Normally, it's accepted by Ukrainian customer if it's properly documented. Especially when we are speaking about the construction tenders, it's very important. In Ukravtodor tenders, they normally require a lot of experience, documents, previous agreements, and so on. Tender security. In most major tenders, you should provide bank guarantee, typically up to 3 or up to 5% of the contract value. It can be issued by Ukrainian bank or by approved correspondent bank. Personnel, very important in construction tenders. Some personnel, foreign engineers, can be involved, but some workers, builders, operators, some specific workers shall be officially employed in Ukraine. So in this respect, you have to be prepared beforehand. And of course, local support. It is recommended that you have local Ukrainian legal counsel, tender consultant. This may simplify you all the process about the licensing, documentation, submission, and so on. Let's go to success cases. Let me tell you about some successful tenders in construction and energy. For example, we have the major company participating in tenders. For example, Turkish company Anur. They won multiple major contracts for building roads and bridges in Ukraine. As we saw in the previous slide, they carefully prepared all the necessary documents. On the slide, you can see I have ID number. Using this ID number, you can easily check the full tender history, who participated, which documents were submitted, and who the winner was. In our case, in this specific tender, if you open it, you will see that Anur prepared around 140 documents, a huge effort of their legal team, and they prepared in a very fast manner. and they won the contract for $52 million, for example. They also won this next tender for bypass in Poltava region worth $9 million. Another example, Onur also won the tender for $5 million in construction bypass, in construction highway in Zaporizhia region for $324 million. Another company from Turkey, Dogas and Saat, also participated in similar tenders. They won the tender for $11 million. They also won the tender for overpass repair in Kyiv region worth $11 million. In energy sector, we have example of American company which supplied equipment for nuclear installation worth $437 million. In fuel, we have major player Sakar. They also won a number of tenders. Here is an example of a tender from Ukrzaliznytsia worth $39 million. The other competitor of Savkar, also Ukernafta, we see a lot of tenders which they participated. They won one more contract worth $32 million, and so on. So every day, Ukraine publishes new public tenders across multiple industries, from energy and fuel to medicine, defense, and construction. There is still time to join. So you can see that on this slide, this is actually which tenders we have at the moment. I made the search 1 day ago. So you can see that in energy sector, we now is open the tender for drilling of wells. It is conducted by Ukernafta. The same tender, very similar. They have one more for drilling of wells worth $8 million, also by Ukernafta. In oil and lubricants for military unit, we have also one more tender worth $1 million, and so on. So there is really time to participate. Do not afraid. Don't miss your chance and participate in public tenders. So thank you for your attention and wish you many, many successful tenders.
Alexandra, thank you very much for giving such an in-depth, detailed, industry-specific insights. Very, very interesting to listen, and I assume that the slides will be shared with the audience as the post materials for review, so even more to read for you guys. But thank you again for your time. So now, without any further ado, I would like to introduce Matthew Devine, the Chief Representative from Global Business Development, EDC. We welcome Matthew, and Matthew will share an overview of the financial solutions and risk management tools that EDC offers to support Canadian companies entering the Ukrainian market. And I just would like to re-emphasize the support that EDC provides, not just for our chamber, but for all the partners in Ukraine. And we really would like to thank you for all the support that you already given to us, and hopefully will continue providing to Ukraine. So Matthew, with from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much, and we look forward for your presentation.
Thanks, Mark. I just want to make sure you can hear me okay.
Yeah, all good.
Oh, perfect. Let me start sharing my presentation. Can you see that? Terrific. So I see the thumbs up. So as Mark mentioned, my name's Matthew Devine. I'm the Chief Representative of the Ottawa office for Export Development Canada. I work in our global, pardon me, in our global business development group. I will admit up front, full disclosure, I am pitch hitting for our Ukraine experts, but I will be providing, and as you can see on the first slide here, we will provide the presentation for everyone's consumption after the fact. But we have a general inbox that triages any particular requests that deal with Ukraine. So I will just do my best during the question and answer period to answer any inquiries. But I encourage everyone that has further questions to use that particular inbox. It's monitored on a daily basis, and our experts are ready to answer your questions. So without further ado, I am also very conscious of time, so I'll try and get through this as quickly as possible because I think we are slightly behind Mark, but that's, well, I'll do our best. So as Mark mentioned, I'm here to spend the next 15 minutes or so outlining EDC's background and the financial tools and instruments that are available for Canadian exporters looking for support in Ukraine. So quickly, a quick summary about EDC. So EDC is Canada's export credit agency. We offer financing, insurance, knowledge, and international network solutions. We are a Crown corporation wholly owned by the Government of Canada. We do operate independently, but we are, however, at arm's length to the government, and the Government of Canada is our sole shareholder. We are financially self-sustaining. We're rated AAA by the external rating agencies, and we operate on commercial principles. In the spirit of time, I won't necessarily outline or go over all of these figures, but this slide does sort of give a very good summary of what EDC's impact is on an annual basis. Some of the key numbers here: 27,000 plus customers served, total value of exports, foreign investments, trades that we have supported, approximately 131 billion, 133 billion of business conducted by our customers, 100 billion in export sales within our insurance program, and so on and so forth, helping small and medium companies, helping unique women-owned and led companies served, green operations, 12.2 billion, and as you can all see here, some fairly impressive numbers, and this is the work this is representative of the work EDC does for the Canadian economy on an annual basis. One of the primary tenets, and we always feel it's important to note, one of the primary tenets of our operation is the power of ESG. So EDC partners with Canadian companies to help them turn sustainable practices into sustainable actions so that they can seize opportunities to thrive in global markets while changing the world for the better. We operate with a strong emphasis on governance, environmental and social priorities, aligning to UN development goals. The impact in Ukraine is that we significantly stretch our risk and structuring appetite for financial means, but we still complete our environmental governance and human rights and due diligence. Very short, we help Canadian businesses mitigate their ESG risk. Rather, we support sustainable businesses and sustainable business opportunities. And not only that, we prioritize ESG for our own business. In the past 2 decades, I would say, there has been a tremendous effort in building an ESG infrastructure at EDC. And so that includes everything related to due diligence in these matters with regards to all of our counterparties, be it exporters, companies that we insure, companies that we lend to, any type of support or connection to EDC. The companies that we deal with are subject to ESG due diligence. And ultimately, the goal here is to make Canada a global leader in ESG. So EDC works to develop Canada's global sustainability presence. As a progressive export credit agency, we collaborate with our partners to help Canadian companies innovate and thrive on the world stage while advancing our collective ESG practices and regulations. Now, EDC acknowledges the importance of working with our partners to assist Ukraine in ensuring the ability to access private capital in the years to come. EDC has been engaged closely with Canadian exporters and investors across Canada through a series of ongoing roundtables and business events of the like. And on the slide here, we can see that the different agencies and sister crown corporations and government entities that EDC will work with in our support for various for all of our exporters rather, and for their ventures in Ukraine. So just to name them, the Canadian Commercial Corporation, Business Development Bank of Canada rather, and we heard earlier from the Trade Commissioner's Service. EDC Ukraine support. Now, EDC is the only credit agency currently supporting Ukraine-related business on its own balance sheet. We are open for business in Ukraine, having provided uninterrupted support to the market since the start of the war. Our full toolkit is available with a range of solutions, many of which directly or indirectly cover war-related risks. We are continually adjusting our product offering to ensure Canadian companies have relevant financing and risk mitigation instruments available to capitalize on opportunities in the market. We leverage common platforms to enable engagement with like-minded ECAs and international financial institutions, such as through the Berne Union. We regularly develop knowledge tools, including market reports, webinars, and things of the like, aimed at educating Canadian companies about the market. And we also collaborate on an ongoing basis and dialogue with public and private sector partners to support Canadian companies looking to do business in Ukraine. Now, in our case, we have that essentially what we've done to essentially increase our risk appetite in order to keep offering our products outside of normal risk bounds, which we would have typically provided support. Canadian exporters and investors continue to advise that they prioritize de-risking solutions to better enable trade investments with Ukraine. So here are some of the solutions that we provide in order to reach that goal. We have our financing solutions where we help Canadian companies get access to capital. We have our insurance product, where we offer protection that lowers the risk for Canadian companies doing business beyond our borders. And as well, we have our knowledge products, where we provide expertise that enables our customers to make informed decisions and learn more about international markets. Now, ADC takes on, as previously stated, we take on war-related risks through these solutions. Now, I'll just go a bit into those solutions specifically. First and foremost, which I would note is currently the one product that is mostly being used for our country support is our credit insurance. Now, EDC credit insurance protects your profits and balance sheet. It reduces your risk by covering your receivables up to 90%. It provides war-related risk coverage for exporters, allows you to be more competitive by offering better payments terms to your customers. It increases your access to working capital and provides flexible options, either from a portfolio or selective coverage nature. And that's what this slide here provides a bit more detail on. First off, we have the EDC Select Credit Insurance, which is short-term coverage, which you will need ideally when you offer payment terms, you're a new or occasional exporter to the market, you're exploring new markets and relationships with few customers, you need fast, simple coverage exclusively online, you need to insure transactions under 500,000 Canadian, and you want to insure sales to Canadian or international customers. Our other option in credit insurance is the portfolio insurance. This is ongoing coverage for active exporters. So this is where you offer open payment terms, you have consistent export sales, you want to insure an unlimited number of customers, you need flexible coverage with more policy options, you need to cover pre-shipment costs in case of contract cancellation, and you also, as the previous model, you want to insure sales to Canadian or international customers. EDC's Guarantee Export Program can provide guarantees up to 100% to Canadian banks for working capital solutions extended to Canadian companies wishing to do business in Ukraine. Financing guarantees to your mechanics of this is effectively we provide a financing guarantee to your financial institution. This ensures risk sharing. It has flexible structure and also has risk appetite for business conducted outside of Canada. The benefits of the program is that it obviously increases access to capital, it facilitates international expansion, and complements your existing bank relationship. As opposed to insurance and the guarantee program, we also provide financing solutions. This is done on a medium to long-term basis. These solutions include buyer financing, where we will directly finance the international buyer. It can also take the form of either direct lending or 100% guarantee to international or Canadian banks extending credit lines, thus offering maximum flexibility to the Canadian exporter. So either directly or through guarantees, EDC takes on the war-related risks through these solutions. Lending support is provided on a non-competitive partnership-based preferred basis or on OECD terms. Potential structures of the financing include a syndicated facility where we would lend alongside a consortium of banks, club facilities, which is effectively just a smaller syndication. It's usually 3 or 4 banks involved in the lending offering, or on a bilateral term loan, so directly between EDC and the end borrower. In terms of international collaboration, to date, EDC has been one of the most active ECAs when it comes to supporting ongoing flow of trade with Ukraine. We've played a convening role among G7 ECA peers and remain an active contributor on a high-level ECA Ukraine working group. We continue to leverage common platforms that allows us to continue to engage with like-minded ECAs and international financial institutions. We've also deepened our collaboration with multilateral development banks with extensive experience in the market. EDC is also proactively engaged with international banks active in Ukraine on knowledge sharing and partnership opportunities that are driven by Canadian exporters' activities and interests. From our knowledge and business events, which is the third product that that I mentioned in the slide earlier, we've developed and continue to provide these types of knowledge tools, including reports, webinars aimed at educating Canadian companies on the opportunities in Ukraine. Not unlike this particular webinar that we're participating in today. We've set up unique Ukraine email addresses, as I mentioned before, where Canadian companies can send specific questions related to the market. We also continue to work closely with government partners, namely the TCS, NRCan, CCC, and provincial governments to support success of Ukraine-related events. We continue to play sponsorship and participant roles in the Rebuild Ukraine conference. And we've also created a Ukrainian Empowerment Scholarship in support of Ukrainian academic achievement. Moving forward, from EDC's perspective, we'll continue to dialogue with Canadian exporters and key stakeholders on their Ukrainian counterparts to better understand the needs of Ukraine and how it can best deploy its support. We continue to adjust our product offering to ensure our Canadian companies have relevant financing and risk mitigation instruments available to capitalize on opportunities in the market. We're committed to continuing to work closely with the Government of Canada, our sister crown corporations, the Canada-Ukraine Chamber of Commerce, as well as like-minded ECAs and other global partners to support Canada's efforts in rebuilding Ukraine. We'll continue to be an active supporter and participant in key business forums which showcase opportunities for Canadian companies in Ukraine and provide opportunities to educate exporters and other stakeholders on how EDC can support Canadian trade and investment in the market. So this slide here, that's a very sort of accelerated presentation on EDC itself and EDC support in the market. I'll leave this slide up here quickly for those that want to take note of this contact information. We will again share the presentation, and I presume Mark, that your team will distribute that to the participants. I will note that, again, general inquiries should be directed to the general email inbox noted here, edcukraine@edc.ca. And further inquiries, we have Leah Gilbert-Morris, who is our Vice President of Corporate Affairs, Jean-Marc, who also works in our corporate affairs office, and also Olga, who is our representative in London. So my team in particular support, we are tasked with supporting our international representatives. And in this particular case, we represent our team in London that manages Ukraine from an EDC perspective. So Olga is our point person on that. Again, general inbox is probably the first attempt at getting information, and also I would suggest reaching out to Olga if you have specifics, or if you're not necessarily getting the the answers or whatnot that you're looking for. That's it, Mark. I'm happy to take questions, I'll pass the baton back to you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks a lot, Matthew. I'm going to take over the virtual microphone here, and we'll try to wrap up the meeting. It was great, informative. I know we were rushing, but I think everything has been presented really, really well. So thank you for your time and the effort. And again, thank you for EDC for all your support over the last couple of years. And hopefully we're continuing this productive partnership together. With this, I do believe we have only 5 minutes left, which is unfortunate because it doesn't give you too much time for questions. But I think in the interest, just to see what is the interest in terms of questions, please put some of the questions in the chat, or raise, I guess putting them in the chat is the right format. We won't be probably answer all of them, but we will, as promised, make sure that we're going to follow up, and we will direct you to the right parties who are presenting today to answer any specific questions that you might have. I'm going to just give a couple of more seconds to see if there is anybody or any questions that are coming in. I don't see anything yet in the chat specifically in relation to the conversations. Either they were really, really good and you don't have any questions, or we just have no time, unfortunately, probably to go through all of that. Or maybe we're just something that we can always take home and, again, follow up. I don't see still any questions coming in. So assuming we will take this offline, we have your contact information. You will receive all the details, everything that you've seen today as the follow-up email. So maybe that would be an easier way to follow up and get your answers. But with this, I think I'm going to be going more to the closing stage of this. And I will try to probably to just first and foremost, just see again, just give me 1 sec. No, nothing incoming in. Okay, so thank you again. I just want to reemphasize the time and the effort that the team has put forward to organize this. I would like to thank all of the speakers as well for your valuable presentations, and to all the participants. We have quite a lot today. Thank you for your time and spending this 2 hours with us. I think it's clear from today's discussion, very informative, that the opportunities for the Canadian companies in Ukraine are real. They are growing and they're waiting to be seized. So we encourage everybody again to consider Ukraine as your potential market, as your investment, as your area of interest. And as the next step, I would recommend the following couple of things and really encourage you to, number one, explore the UCAN Pro. This is our home chamber initiative. It's going to help you to enter Ukrainian procurement market. And if not enter, you're just going to understand what's going on there. We will connect you with the right expert support, and we will ensure that there is a proper hand-holding throughout the process, because it requires that. Please use the Rebuild Ukraine toolkit for the Canadian businesses. It's a practical guide we've developed to help companies like yours to take action. Again, EDC, BDO, great partners. They were part of that initiative. So please use that as your go-to. We welcome, and we're really looking forward to see you all at the upcoming 4th annual Rebuild Ukraine Business Conference in Toronto. It's going to happen December 2nd this year. And this is our premium product. This is a premium platform to meet your partners, government representatives, Ukrainian businesses. Take a look. I'm sure you're going to like it. And this is something that we're really proud to have in our toolkit as well. So we really encourage you to participate. And then obviously join the Canada Pavilion at Rebuild Ukraine Warsaw in November, which is an event that is predecessor to our event and is always the great space to start arranging meetings, connections, and then bring them to Canada. It's an incredible opportunity where you can showcase your capabilities, and we and our office can help you facilitate and be part of that audience in Warsaw. CUCC, as the chamber, is here to support you, as mentioned, at every step as you explore, expand, and succeed in Ukraine. Again, thank you for your time and commitment, and we're all looking forward to working with you, seeing you in many of your upcoming events, and hopefully working and doing business together. With this, have a great day. Thank you all. Enjoy the rest and stay safe.